And welcome back to Toyota Sports Talk. This is Winston Hilton here, and I have, what many people consider, one of the best as far as baseball is concerned. He is the voice of the Nationals on television. His name is Bob Carpenter. If you are a Nationals fan, this is the voice that you have heard since the team came to town. And we wanted to basically highlight, honor, and give his flower, give you your flowers while you're still on the microphone. So, Bob, first off, congratulations. Secondly, thank you very much. Going into your final couple of sessions here, weeks of the baseball season, how does it feel? First of all,
As far as me personally, it's starting to become very real, because we made the decision, my wife and I, along with the Nats, who've been so fantastic through this whole process, we made the decision to retire last winter, announced it at the end of spring training. And, throughout the season, it seems like it's been kind of far away and down the road. And I knew as soon as we got past the All-Star break, and then certainly past Labor Day, the calendar was going to start flipping and this thing was going to start flying on me. So here we are. It's becoming very real for me. I'm trying to, savor every moment, every pitch, every inning. And here we go. So I guess right now, after that long, convoluted answer I gave you, I'm feeling pretty good about it. Looking forward to the end of the season to be back with my family full time and all that. But, it's going to be sad when I hang up that headset for the last time Sunday evening. When I was speaking of this with our friend Mark Zuckerman from Nationals.com back in the spring, I did tell him at that time, this is the toughest decision I've ever had to make. Because when you're doing something you really love and you've been doing it for a long time, it's hard to picture me not doing this. And at the same time, I have spent over the last 42 years of doing Major League Baseball, plus I've done, basketball, college football, soccer, pro golf, pro tennis. I've done a lot of different things. I've been very fortunate in that regard. Some of it local, some of it network. And the amount of time that you have to spend away from your family is it's tough. It's a tough part of that job. So I've been saying goodbye to my wife, Debbie, every March for the last 42 years to do baseball. We're looking at our 46th wedding anniversary in November. We've survived this grind and this long 4.5 decades period of time working together. I mean, if you're in this business, you better have a great partner or a great spouse. And I do. And she's awesome. And now I really feel like this is her time. This is time for me to give my time back to her. It has nothing to do with the Nats being on the losing side for the last several years. Nothing at all to do with that. I still love it. I love being around the team. I love the city. I love our fans. But ultimately, there comes a time when you have to make a decision. And I really feel in here, while it's going to be sad for me to give it up, I really feel that I'm doing the best thing for my wife, for my kids, and for my grandsons, and for my family overall. And I think I'm in a good place with this call.
For Nationals fans, like I alluded to earlier, your voice is pretty much synonymous with Washington baseball. How does that make you feel? Is like, you're the one. Like, there are a couple of broadcasters that are like those people for that fan base, like a Harry Carey or,
Right.
how does that make you feel?
It's something that I take to heart. It's unbelievably flattering and pleasing when somebody says that to you, because I'll run into fans at the ballpark or in different settings, and they'll say, you've been in our living room for almost every game for the last 20 years. And that's a big deal. That's a whole generation of fans that, and some of them, I'm like, okay, here comes another story. When I was little, I used to listen to you, Bob, and now I'm in college or I'm getting married. And, and that's great. I mean, I love that. I savor that. You know, when you become a baseball announcer, it's a big deal because you're not on once a week like you are in football. You're not on 2 or 3 times a week like you are in basketball or hockey. I mean, once that season starts, you're there every night, every day. So I take that seriously. And when people say that to me, it amuses me because of the longevity factor. But at the same time, it's very flattering. And it's wonderful because I feel like we're all friends. I feel like I've made tens of thousands of friends among Washingtonians. And that's really cool to know that by simply doing your job, you've been able to have an influence on people. You've been able to entertain them and bring them Nationals baseball. So I'm pleased that I've been here for every year but one of the history of the Nats. And it's been a great ride, and it's been the most enjoyable job I've ever enjoyed in my nearly 50-year career.
Excluding the World Series, because obviously that's probably top of the food chain. What is one of your most memorable experiences or calls that you've had on the microphone for the Nats?
Well, I'm one of those guys who kind of considers team achievements just as important as individual achievements. But sometimes the individual ones, because they're in moments, they're in special moments. They're the ones that kind of jump out at you. I still remember the cold New York night in April of '06 when Ryan Zimmerman hit his first career home run, and it helped us win a ball game. He hit it off Billy Wagner. We went into extra innings, and then we beat the Mets. Jordan Zimmerman's no hitter on the last day of 2014, an amazing moment when he and Wilson Ramos were the only two guys on the field at the end of the game who were there at the beginning of the game because Jordan was supposed to pitch 5 innings that day, and they let him stay in. Matt Williams let him stay in because he had a no hitter going, and we had four center fielders, and Ryan Zimmerman started that game in left field of all places. And then comes Max. Max Scherzer comes along in 15, two no hitters, the 20 strikeout game after that, and Kurt Suzuki hitting a walk-off homer against the Mets in September of 19 when the Nationals scored 7 runs in the bottom of the ninth inning to beat the Mets. And then, numerous clinchers where we had clubhouse celebrations. I was in on some of those in 19 because we were not televising the postseason games. So I was up in the booth or anchoring for those other clinchers. But in 19, I was a reporter. We weren't carrying the games. I was with the team down in the clubhouse, got soaked with champagne and beer a couple of times, and got to hold up the World Series trophy. So, those are moments that'll stick out. And, those are the ones that I will first think about. And then after that, Winston, I think, one of the big things is I'll think about my relationship with the learners, uh, the management group, uh, the players, the managers we've had, the coaching staffs, because nobody works harder in baseball than those guys. The players, of course, and then all my broadcast partners. So those individual moments will stick out. But for me, baseball, and I've been fortunate in my career to work with really great people, not only in baseball, but in other sports as well. But it kind of boils down to the people you get to work with who maybe were famous before you ever met them, or maybe you helped them get famous a little bit, by working together and being a good tandem or a good team. And I think it's the relationships I will remember above all. I cannot leave out is Steven Strasburg's debut game in 2010 when he struck out 14 Pirates in 7 innings. Because we knew all about Steven. He was coming quickly through the minor leagues and all that, and he was the number one draft pick. And that night, Steven let us know that things were changing with the Nationals.
I've seen different stadiums and different teams, post videos and things like that,
Mhm.
honoring you and the career that you have had. Has any of them stuck out as kind of amusing, so to speak?
Well, the funniest one was the one the Phillies did, because they do that look-alike thing on the scoreboard in between innings, and then they would show a famous person, then they would show a fan who looks like that person. And they did 5 or 6 of those. I didn't know the Phillies were going to do this. And all of a sudden I looked up and a picture of me was on the scoreboard. And I'm like, oh my gosh, are they going to put Shrek next to that picture or something? And what they did was they took a live shot of me next to that picture from the center field camera. So it was a picture of me and then the real me up there at the same time. That completely caught me off guard. So that was really funny what the Phillies did. The Mets did a short thing for me on the scoreboard in New York. Back in April, the Pirates did one because that was our only time in there. And I got some longtime friends with the Pirates. The Cardinals did a nice one for me, showed some old pictures of when I was with them, and that's my hometown. So that was pretty special. And then we went from there to Milwaukee, and the Brewers did a really nice tribute to me. And my friend Brian Anderson, their TV guy, he organized a little pregame party for me. Totally surprised me. It was in their TV booth. And there's about 30 people in the booth. That was really special, what they did for me. So, those things are unexpected. When they happen, they're wonderful. They're gratifying. And I'm grateful to those teams taking a few moments in their ballpark to recognize me because there's probably a lot of people in their ballpark that are like, who is this guy? I think in Philly and New York and St. Louis, people knew me pretty well. For people, Winston, just to recognize you for simply doing your job, that's the way I kind of look at it. I don't try to consider myself anything special. I'm doing my job. I'm trying to connect with our fans. And if other teams want to pay tribute to that, it's great, and I really appreciate it.
Well, I am not going to use your catchphrase. We're going to hang that in
We
the
could do it
round.
together.
Well, we surely can. We surely can. Bob Carpenter, I really appreciate your time. Again, like I said, thank you. I'm sure a lot of Nationals fans will also, thank you. You probably won't have to buy a drink or dinner in this town ever again, which is probably a good thing. So in that sense, thank you again.
All right, Winston, here we go. See
you
you later.
later, or hopefully again,
Sometime soon.
again very soon.
All right, buddy.
All right,
hey, thanks
you
for
very much.
having me on. Thanks for having me on. Well done.
No problem at all. Hey, more Toyota Sports Talk coming up right after this. Stay with us.